Hi guys, welcome back to Guyset, a guy's guide to what should be talked about. Welcome back to another Dear Guyset episode where I answer the questions that guys are asking, whether that's about a situation, a situationship, a relationship, really anything you want advice on or anything you want answers on or a different perspective on, and I bring you my advice to the best of my abilities. I do these every month, every third week of the month, and as always, I am no expert. I am just sharing what I have learned and what I continue to learn as I go through all of these experiences alongside you. I love doing these episodes. They're some of my favorite episodes to do, and I love that people ask questions and write in, and I hope, truly, I really hope that my advice and what I share is helpful to you and can help you inform your opinion or whatever you decide to do. I love doing these episodes for so many reasons. They're some of my favorite episodes to do, but one of the biggest reasons is that it makes me realize that everybody has these types of questions, or every guy has these types of questions. These are things that every guy is thinking, wondering about, wants some sort of answer to or advice on, but doesn't really say or ask for or know how to ask for or know who to ask for. And I feel like these types of episodes and all of these questions make you feel a lot less alone in having these questions, make you feel less weird for thinking these things or wondering these things and not knowing them, because the truth is nobody really knows what to do and we're all just figuring it out as we go, and we don't really talk about it. So I think having this place and having this space to do it is one of the reasons I started Guyset and one of my favorite things I get to do on Guyset. And chances are, if you have one of these questions or if you hear one of these questions and you're like, oh, that is me, I have that question, there are so many other guys out there who also want advice on that same thing or also have that question swirling around in their head. So I found over time doing this that there is so much value in opening the vault to these questions and getting it out there and sharing what people are asking and my advice on them, and I hope you find the same value in it too. So let's get into it. The first question is, let me change my tone a little bit. I'm a little excited. How do I answer a breakup text with the girl I've been seeing? So first of all, I'm sorry, that fucking sucks. Being broken up with, anytime anything ends, it's the worst. It just sucks. There's no way around it that it blows. It blows being broken up with. I'm assuming, because you said it's a text, that this is a shorter-term relationship or situationship, and this isn't a long-term, long-standing, you've been dating for a long time. Because if it's a text after a long time, that really fucking sucks. That takes it to the next level. So I really hope it's not that. And I don't mean to be sarcastic. I really hope it's not a long-term relationship that you're getting broken up with over text. So I'm assuming this is a shorter-term situationship, and I'm answering this with my assumption in mind that if somebody is sending you a text to be like, hey, I've had a really great time getting to know you or going on dates with you, I just don't see this going any further, nice to meet you, or whatever the fuck they say, I think you can send thanks for being honest. I think sending a response back is always nice, and it gives that bookend closure to the conversation and to this kind of chapter or this moment in your life. Not responding, I think, gives it this lingering thing that they sent this text and they decided not to ghost, which I think a lot of people don't do, and a lot of people do ghost, which fucking sucks, but they decided not to ghost you, and I feel like that is a respectable thing to do. So I feel like it is a good thing, and you obviously do want to respond, but this is more so me to everybody saying that I think if you do get a text like that, the right thing to do is respond. And I've been the sender of this text, and I've also been the receiver of this text. And looking back, I wish I had responded when I got that text, because I didn't. I fully just was fuck this, and didn't send anything. I wish I had said this, and this is my advice to you, is that I would just say thank you for being honest, or thanks for being honest, I appreciate it. And that's it. And then they're not going to respond again, or they might thumbs it up or heart it, but most likely they're not going to respond again. And that's completely fine. And of course, if you don't want to respond, if you want to let them have the last thing and you want the breakup text to be the end of it, that's fine too. You do not have to respond, but if you're looking for something to say and you appreciate that they didn't ghost and you want that sort of bookend closure to this, I think you can just say, thanks for being honest. I appreciate it. And I feel like like it goes both ways. It like you either don't respond or you send a little something like that. There's really nothing else to say. The thing has ended. What I wouldn't do is ask any other like follow-up questions and be like, why? Or like can you like explain what you're like, I wouldn't go down that path, and I wouldn't like put yourself in that position, because that's just like, I don't know, they don't want to give you the answers. They might not even have the right answers. They might not just have been like feeling a vibe or feeling like it was like the right thing, and there's nothing good that's going to come from them telling you why it's not working on their side, especially if it's early on, like 2, 4, like that range, 6 dates. Maybe, I don't know, that's like a little long at that point. But somewhere in that like 2 to 5 range, there's nothing really great that comes from them being like, I don't know, I just like didn't think you had a great personality, or like, I don't know, I don't think you're like, it's just like there's nothing great that comes from somebody telling you their reason as to why, and that reason will only just make you spiral further and make you like feel worse about yourself in the situation, and you might then bring that thought process or their own opinions of you into your next thing. So I think like letting it go is the best thing you can do from here on out. Like overthinking as to why they ended it and why this didn't work out it's never ending, and you're going to make yourself crazy by doing that. So my big advice here is to let it go from there after you send the text, or if you don't send the text, just like don't spend the rest of your waking moments in the week or in the next couple weeks thinking about why it didn't work and why this person didn't like you and what you said wrong or what you did wrong. Because I've been there. I'm sure if you're listening right now, you've been there too, and you've had so many moments where you're like, fuck, like what did I say? What did I do? I wish I did this differently. I should have done this differently. I should have texted her sooner. I should have texted her later. I should have done. And you just really drive yourself mad by doing all of that. So if something has ended, like let dying dogs lie. What's the expression? Like I think it's let lying dogs lie. Let me Google it. Lying dogs. I can't get it right. Let lying dogs lie. Let sleeping dogs lie. Let sleeping dogs lie. Often misquoted as let lying dogs lie. That's funny. It's an idiom advising to avoid interfering in a settled situation or reopening old disputes to prevent creating new problems. Yeah. All right. Often misconstrued or misquoted as exactly what I said. Great. The next question is, should I send a breakup text after 2 to 3 dates? I think I should do a full episode on breakups because I feel like this is a lot of the questions this week. Yes, I think you should. I always think it's better to send like a, hey, I've had a great time. It's kind of like the format I gave you before, and I've said it on here before as well. But like, hey, I had a great time getting to know you, or like, hey, really had a really nice time with you. Just don't see it going any further. Or I'm gonna, I don't know. Hey, I had a really great time getting to know you. Yeah, I just don't see it going any further. Is what I would send, honestly. Or I'm just not feeling it, or I'm not feeling a spark. I don't know. You could put your own twist on it. I don't want to give you like the exact format, but I feel like it's always good to have something to work off of. I think after 1 date, you don't need to, unless they follow up and it's like, hey, like, would you love to see you again? You do have to say something back, unless you want to ghost and just not say anything. And after 1 date, like, I think a common understanding is that like you don't owe somebody anything after 1 date. Like you've spent an hour with them, you've spent an hour and a half with them, you've had 1 or 2 drinks with them. I don't think you owe them so much more, and it's not like you can say I had a really great time getting to know you because you didn't. So it's just like, I think you could just say like, hey, I don't see this really working out, or I don't see this going further. Yeah, like if they send that text being like, hey, like would love to get another drink with you, then you have to say something, or you should say something, and you don't have to, but you should. It's my advice or my recommendation. After 2 to 3 dates, I think you've spent enough time with this person that you do owe them a little bit of something. Not owe, but you should send them something just to end it and give it that closure, that book end that I'm talking about. If not, you kind of are ghosting, that you're fully ghosting them. So you either ghost or you don't, and that is completely up to you. But I really highly recommend against ghosting. I think if you put yourself in their shoes of the person being ghosted, it is just the worst feeling. And I think you know how bad it feels if you've been ghosted before, and you have the opportunity to not make somebody else feel that way. So I would take that opportunity to not make somebody else feel that way, because you know how bad it feels. So why would you want to impart that onto somebody else? Okay. The next question is, how many drinks should you have at a work happy hour? I love this question. This is great. I'm assuming this is somebody that's starting a new job. So congratulations on your new job or your internship or whatever it is, and you're starting soon. We're getting to that time where internship season is upon us. This was a question I also had when I first started my internship and my first job, because I had these first like happy hours, and it's so exciting when you see like an open tab and you're like, oh my God, free fucking drinks. Let's go crazy. You really want to limit yourself, especially early on when you don't know that many people, when you're first making your first impressions, when you're first starting out. Like, you do not want to be the person that blacks out. Like, you really do not want to be the person that like drinks too much, says too much. Like, you, just to start out, like when you start a new job, these people aren't your friends. These people are your coworkers. And there is a level of like decorum. There's a level of like, I don't know, like corporate ability. I don't know. That's not a word. I made it up. There's a level of, like dignity that you should have around these people, because they're your coworkers and you want them to respect you. You want them to like you, but like more above like you want them to respect you and think you're good at your job, and think that this is a person that they want to work with and they believe in and they trust and they think is good at what they do and they could fall back on or they can rely on. Like, you don't want to be the person that's getting super fucked up. You don't. You like, I've seen it. I've witnessed it so many times. And every single time, everybody else is like, oh God. Like, you see, and it becomes a story. Like, one of my first jobs, there were like 3 stories of these people that they had left 3 years ago, but they're like tales at this point. They are folklore of this company at this point. And everybody talks about the time that this guy got like stretchered out of this company holiday party, or this other guy like threw up on the dance floor. Like, they are a part of the company lore and the history. And you don't want to be that history. You don't want to be that footnote. You want to be a very different footnote than that thing. So just make sure like you are never getting to that level at a company thing, whether it's a holiday party, whether you're 1 year in, 2 years in, I don't care. I really think like it's very important to not get to that level. If you have a group of really good coworker friends and like they're your age, by all means, like go get drunk, go have fun. Like, I'm sure you're all doing that at the same time. But when you're around a bunch of people and the CEO and the CFO and your boss and their boss, like all these people are at this thing, you want to limit yourself. My rule for myself going into any company thing was like 2 to 3 drinks max. And I know that sucks because it's free and it's like you want to go have fun and it's this like night out. Like, I still really believe in the idea of like limiting yourself. My limit for myself was 3, because I knew if I go to 4, then I'll probably go to 5 and like have like 6. Like, I really believe that it's really important to look really good at these types of things. And you never know who's going to be behind you or who you're going to talk to. And if you've had 6 drinks and the CFO's like, hi, what's your name? And you're like, like you want to be, I don't know the right word for it. And I'm going to listen back to this and be like, fuck, the word was this. But you want to be like respectable, and you want to have a level of like suit. And you know what I mean? And if you are responding to the CFO and you're like, I think your daughter's hot, like you got to be careful. Like you want to look good. You want people to think that you are good at your job and they like you, and not having 6 drinks at a work happy hour is a good way to do that. And it's a good way to also not do that. So I would say, how many drinks you're asking specifically? I'm going to say like 2, like seriously, because especially when you're starting out, you don't want to be the person that gets too drunk and like says the wrong thing. Also, like outside of saying the wrong thing, if you have a lot of drinks, like the anxiety you have from work happy hours and work events is like so much worse than your anxiety from hanging out with friends, because it's like, that's your job like that. And then you're like, what the fuck did I say to my boss? Like, why was I talking to this person about like this thing? Like, so don't put yourself in the situation when you have like an insane amount of anxiety and you're like, what did I say? What did I do? Why did I do that? Did I lose my job? Does everyone hate me? When I go back on Monday, they're going to be looking at me and being like, you were nuts at that work happy hour. Like, you were like twerking on everybody. So just don't put yourself in that situation. Limit yourself to like 2 to 3 drinks at a work happy hour. Again, if you have a big group of friends and you're like young and you're fun and that's different. It's a different story. But if you're at like a big company thing, limit yourself and like mix in a water or 4. Okay, and I've also, by the way, like seen like the people I've seen at work happy, like people get fucked up. People get really drunk because it's an open bar. It's free. It's fun. Like, but everybody has that thing. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe Dave was like seriously like foaming at the mouth. Like, I can't believe Dave peed himself. Like, you just don't be Dave. The next question is, I feel like I was bad after having sex for the first time. Where do I go from here? Okay, I'm assuming this isn't, and it might be, so I guess I'll take it in both directions. If you like had sex for the first time, like lost your virginity, and you feel like you were bad at it, like everybody is bad at it. Like, do not worry. Like, seriously, you're gonna have so many other opportunities. You're gonna have so many other like times. Like, everybody's first experience, everybody's first time. And I always say that I'm speaking just for myself. I'm not an expert. Like, I genuinely feel like everybody has a weird / like awkward, really, like they look back at it and they're like, oh, like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, hide your kids, hide your wife, like hiding themselves. I feel like everybody has their first experience and they're like, like everybody. So I don't think you're alone in this. I think you're far from alone. I feel like everybody would, like, if you talk to anybody else about this, and this is one of the situations where I'd also recommend talking to like your friends and be like, hey, like, this was weird, and like I feel like I was bad, and I too early, too fast, like all the things. This is one of the situations where I think you could just like lean on a friend and be like, this was weird. And like, you'll probably laugh at it together, and he'll probably be like, same. And like, this is one of those situations that like we don't really talk about because it's super awkward and it's embarrassing overall. Like, you really feel embarrassed by it. I'm here to say that it's not embarrassing. Like, it is not. Like, everybody has an awkward first experience. So like, as much as you can, try to internalize that and be like, okay, you know what? He's probably right. Everybody has a weird, awkward first experience. And the second one might be awkward too, but the third one and the fourth one, like, I'll get better with time and I'll start to understand things. I'll start to ask questions and figure out what I like and what she likes. And you'll really like work through it and figure it out. And it's not going to stay awkward forever, but just know that the first time for everybody is awkward. And then the other way I want to answer this or give you advice on it is, if it wasn't your first time and you're like saying that it's the first time with somebody new and it was bad or it was awkward or it was weird or it was uncomfortable or whatever, where do you go from here is I think you communicate. Like, I feel like this is something that, and I'm actually going to have a couple sex therapists on the podcast, or like sex psychologists. I don't know, like psychologists or psychiatrists that can talk to this stuff, because I feel like that's really like the direction I want to go in, because I don't have all the answers to this type of stuff. And I'm getting a lot of questions about this stuff. So I'm like, oh, that is an indicator that I want to have an expert on this. So like, tune into that. It's coming soon. I've reached out to 3 different people, and I'm probably going to have all of them on because they'll all bring different perspectives and different opinions and whatnot. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I can't give you all of the answers. I can just share my perspective or give you like the expert opinion, and I'm excited that they will be able to. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's what I've talked about, doing that for a while and having like more real experts on here, more people that can actually speak to these experiences and like put the science behind it, if you will, because we all know that I don't. So let lying, sleeping dogs lie. But I'm looking forward to that. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. I'll let you know when it's coming. It's coming soon. I haven't interviewed any of them yet, but they're all like in the works in the next few months. But I will say, like, if it's the first time with somebody new, where you go from here is I think you communicate. And the next time you're going to have sex, you're going to go hook up, like, you ask questions and you say like, is this good? Or is this right? Or like, am I doing, is this okay? Like, does this feel good? Like, you just communicate more. You ask more questions. You stay honest. You stay like real, because it's your first time with each other or your second time with each other. Like, this is a new experience, and each time is a new experience with somebody else. So it's different. It requires different things. It requires different questions and different understanding. So like, I think communication is your best friend here. Like, communicate, ask questions, be honest and be real, because like there's nobody else watching. It's just you and the other person. It's just you and like nobody else has to know what happens. And as long as it's consensual and fun and like you're both down, like of course it's gonna be a little weird at first. Of course it's gonna be a little awkward at first, but together you figure that out. You get the rhythm and you understand like what's good, what's not, what's working and what's not, and you figure it out together. And it's just you two, and like nobody else needs to know. Nobody else needs to be notified of what went. Like, it's totally up to you guys. Nobody else is watching. So you have nobody else to feel embarrassed about or in front of. You have nobody else to feel awkward about. And I'm assuming she's also feeling a little awkward or uncomfortable. So like, by opening up the floor for questions and conversation, like you're making both of you feel less awkward, and you're opening up what will probably be a lot better of an experience for both of you. And just because it was awkward once does not mean it will be awkward forever. And I can promise you that with time and with communication and with questions and like you will just both get more comfortable, and it will be a better experience for both of you. So try your best just not to like overthink this and feel like you need to be embarrassed or awkward about it, and understand, or like I guess just start to like realize that like everybody has weird or awkward or embarrassing encounters with sex like every time. And I think that is a human thing that is not talked about. Like, that's not just for guys. I think everybody doesn't really talk about that. I think it's like something that I definitely want to have somebody on to talk more about, because I think that is just like a human thing that like everybody doesn't really talk about, because it's awkward and embarrassing and all the things I'm saying, and makes you feel weird for not being good at or not being the best at. And like, I don't know, especially for guys, I feel like this is a very untalked about topic. Like, even for me, I feel like it's kind of uncharted for this podcast. I haven't talked about it really yet. I guess mostly because I don't have the right words for it. I guess I can always just say firsthand from my experience and what I know, and like what I've, I don't know, like learned. But it is awkward and it is a weird topic, and I think it's something that is like taboo and kind of uncomfortable and makes you feel weird for. So yeah. I guess that's just kind of my little soliloquy on that. That's not the right word. The next question is, how do I come across as more confident on a date? I think one of the best ways to come across as more confident on a date is, I answered that like a DBQ. I think one of the best ways that you can look more confident is to feel more confident. That's not an answer. I think one of the best ways that you can start feeling more confident is, one, like I'm telling you, if you sit up straighter, you will automatically feel more confident. I really do. If you push your shoulders back, I also think there are things you can do before the date. Like if you shower, if you shave, if you put on an outfit that you feel really good in, like I think all of those things will make you feel more confident. I think if you have a couple questions in your back pocket that you can lean on, that if you run out of things to say, or if you feel like the conversation is dwindling or not going anywhere, that you can just be like, hey, like I was curious, like, what is your favorite restaurant around here? Or what is your favorite thing to do with your friends? Or what do you like do on the weekends? Or what's your favorite movie you've watched recently? Or what, I don't know, what's your family like? Or where are you from? Or what not? Like if you have a couple things that you can lean on, I think that makes you feel more confident, and you're not as worried or anxious that the conversation is going to be bad and you're not going to have anything to say. I think also getting off of your phone and making sure you're not on your phone the whole time is a way to be more confident. Like if you decide to be present and in the moment, I think you look more confident, and I think you also feel more confident. Like you don't have a crutch that you're going on your phone, or especially when you get there at first, like you're not, and she walks in and you're on your phone, that kind of catches you off guard and you're like already kind of on your back foot. So if you are off your phone, like from when you get there and you're checking out the menu or you're scanning the restaurant and you're looking around and you're like already like starting to be present. Like before I record this podcast, I try and like sit here for a second and not be on my phone and scrolling and texting, because that is a separate thing than what I'm trying to do. And I think that same thing applies to a date. Like if you're scrolling or you're doing the Wordle or you're scrolling Instagram or like checking out what your friend said on text, wow, boomer. If you're texting or like, you know what I mean? Like you're not on your front foot. Like you're kind of already back. So by being off of your phone, I think that makes you feel more confident. I think letting her speak, or whoever's on the other side of the table speak, and not like forcing any dead space or dead air to be filled by talking is another way to feel more confident. Like if you just let like things like dwindle, or let things like live without having to interject or having to like say the next thing right away, and you kind of just like, oh, okay, like that's cool. And then you kind of like give a breath and give some space. That's another way to look confident or feel confident. I think if you talk to somebody and they take breaks like that, and they have like something that they want to say, but they take their time to formulate it, and they're not just rushing to get something out, I think that always looks confident. And I think when people talk more slowly, it seems more confident, not to the point where you're like, wow, that is interesting, but to the point where you're kind of like, huh, like that's really cool. I'd love to hear more about that, instead of being like, that's really cool. Like, I'd love to hear more about that. And like, what do you think about this? And like, you know, the difference of confidence in terms of speaking and in terms of when you're rushing things out. And like, you can tell that when you're talking to somebody that's not on a date, as I talk as fast as possible right here. But I think like your posture, what you're wearing, the way you're speaking, the way you're thinking, the way you're like deliberating, and also asking follow-up questions, these are all really good ways to look more confident and to also feel more confident on a date. The next question is, I didn't get the job I wanted. How do I deal with rejection? Similar to what I said about being broken up with, rejection sucks. Like, also no way around it. Being rejected from something you want, especially a job you want, something you're looking forward to, something you probably have been in rounds of interviews for and have gotten your hopes up about, that letdown blows. Like it sucks. I've been there. I know people have been there. Like everybody I know has been there at some point or another. I think everybody has gotten rejected from a job. I think everybody has wanted a job really badly and got rejected from it. I had a job that I really wanted out of college at NBC, and I was in the final round interview for it. And I remember emailing them and being like, hey, I have this other offer. Like, I need to know really soon. The other offer was also like kind of pressing me to be like, hey, it's been a couple weeks. I got an extension already. They needed to know. I needed to know about NBC. NBC was like my dream job. I really wanted to work there. And they sent a thank you for your thank you for whatever your consideration, like blah, blah, blah. And I was devastated that I didn't get this job. I really thought I got it too. Like I really thought they loved me. I thought the interviews went really well. I thought I loved the team. Like I was so looking forward to it. And I so badly wanted this job. And even though I had the other job, I was still like pretty devastated about this, because I knew that like I in my head, I was like, this is the future I want. This is what I know is best for me. And what I've learned over time is that anytime you get a rejection, it is leading you to what is better for you. Like anytime I've been rejected from something, there is a reason for that rejection. There is a reason I did not end up in that position. There is a reason I didn't get that position. I don't know the reason in that moment. I don't think anybody knows the reason in that moment. But when you look back from a 2-year lens, and you can look back and be like, I know why I didn't get that. And thank God I didn't get that job, because where I am right now is such a better place than I could have ever imagined. I've learned so much more. I've experienced so much more. Like, and maybe it's not 2 years, maybe it's 4 years, maybe it takes a long time for you to have to understand why you got rejected from that thing or why you didn't get that thing. But I really do believe, like wholeheartedly, that anytime you get rejected, it is good for you. It is the right thing. If you don't get that job, then that job was not meant for you. And I know that's like not it's not fair in the moment. It doesn't help in the moment. These aren't things that make you feel any less bad in the moment. But I can almost guarantee that whatever comes next, or whatever you do end up getting, will be the thing that was meant for you to get, will be the path that was meant for you to go down. And by trying to force the path that you got rejected from, it's the same kind of thought process, or my mindset around when somebody rejects you for a date or breaks up with you or any of those things. Like, why force something that isn't supposed to be? Why force something that wasn't meant to be? Why force somebody that doesn't like you to like you? Why are you trying to make that happen? Why are you trying to make a a job that does not want you, or a job that does not recognize how good you are or how good you could be or your potential, why are you trying to force that? And I think that isn't easy in the moment. And of course you want it in the moment. And that's like the thing you've wanted, the thing you've gotten your hopes up about, the thing that you have pictured. And it's really hard to take yourself out of that picture. Like I think about it like that picture in the end of Ferris Bueller. Like you're looking so closely at that picture, and you know the scene where they're zooming in and they're zooming in and they're zooming in, and I think they're high, and it's like the dots are getting closer and closer and closer until you realize that like each paint splotch is like what makes up a face, and it's like really this like kind of meta moment where you're like, whoa, like we are all like a part of this bigger picture, like each dot makes up this picture, whatever. When you're in that picture, when you're so zoomed in on that specific dot, and like that dot is what is meant for you, I need to be there, like I want to be there, I'm so hopeful about this, I know this is the right thing for me, it is so hard to zoom out of that picture. When you are so ingrained in that picture, when you have stepped so far into that picture that you don't see the rest of it. It's like when you're one tree in the forest, you don't see the rest of the forest. Like, and if you fall in the forest, does anybody else hear you? When you're so deeply ingrained in that picture, it's so hard to zoom back out and realize that there is an entire picture here. And if one blotch, it doesn't go in the right direction, or if one thing looks off, or there's one little mistake, it's not going to be seen by the full picture because you're not focusing in that moment or that exact little dot. You're focusing on the full picture. But when you're in it, it's so hard to focus on the full picture. And that's what I'm saying about this 2-year perspective down the road, or 4 years or 6 years down the road. You will at some point realize that this was not meant for you. You will at some point realize, like, thank God I didn't get that job because I was directed into this other whole place that like I would not have gotten. And like, I look at that job that I got rejected from by NBC, and I wouldn't be here right now talking to you if I had been in that job. I don't think I would be. And I just think that everything happens for a reason, and that reason isn't told or known until you discover what is meant for you, or what you're supposed to do, or your purpose, or one of those things. And then it starts to click. And then you start to see the full picture, and you start to realize that that dot didn't matter as much. I hope that made sense. I got a little referencey in there, a little metaphorical. I think I put a metaphor in a metaphor. It was a lot that went on, but I really thought it was, in my head, I was like, this is going to hit. And I feel like it did, and I hope it did. And I know on the last episode, I always end the episode by telling you a question that I'm going to start with. And I know that I said I was going to do what is a good Hinge profile. I didn't do the research I wanted to do, so I want to fully do that, and then I will come back to you. I promise I'll be back with that soon. Don't worry. If you're looking for that episode, it's coming very soon. It'll probably be a full episode on like dating profiles, so it probably won't be just one of the questions in. I always realize that there are questions in here when I'm asked questions by you guys or by anybody that like I'm like, oh, I should make that a full episode, and I get inspired by these a lot of the time. So that Hinge profile / dating profile will become a full episode coming soon, and then I will leave you with the question I'm going to answer on the next Dear Guyset episode, kind of like a cliffhanger for you. So these are the 3 questions I didn't get to, so I'll just like kind of put them all out there, and I'll probably answer all of them on the next one. One is, what is your advice on starting dating again after a breakup? And I'll probably do a full breakup episode. Are there any good pickup lines, and how often should you wash your work shirts? Again, I like these questions because they're all very specific. They're all like very like niche questions that there aren't really a lot of great places to find answers to, and there is nowhere really to find answers to those types of things. So that's why you're here. That's why I'm here, and I love doing this. Thank you so much for tuning in, and that is the episode. Thank you so much for listening to Guyset, a guy's guide to what should be talked about. I'm Josh. I'm 25 years old, and I'm here every single week, every single Tuesday to talk about what should be talked about for guys. If you like this episode or related, please like, subscribe to this podcast. 5 stars. Leave that's 1, 2, for 5 stars, not 4, not 3, not 2, not 1. It's 5 stars. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. If you have any questions that should be talked about for guys, head over to my website, guyset.com, Guyset.com. That is Guyset.com. There's an Ask Me Anything right there. You can ask me anything you want to talk about, anything should be talked about, and I will do a whole episode on it and incorporate it into the next Dear Guyset episode. That's where a lot of these questions came from. So thank you so much to everyone who wrote in. You make these episodes happen, and I really appreciate that there are people who write in and people care and want my advice. It's so fucking cool. You can check out daily blog posts on the website, Guyset.com, across dating, confidence, comparison, mindset, lifestyle, really anything you're wondering about. And it's just kind of an extension of what I do over here, over there. It's just like a full Guyset universe extended. It's like the counterpart to this. So there's just more advice, more answers, more perspectives, more expert opinions on the website. I do like 3 to 4 blog posts a day, so you can find so many different things on there. I have a second podcast called If You're Going on a Date This Week. It is basically twice a week, Monday and Thursday, where I talk about everything going on in the world in terms of pop culture, movies, music, TV shows, sports, entertainment, really anything you can talk about on your date or with your coworkers or with your friends. And you can find that on the same YouTube channel at Guyset, where you can find this whole video, and on a separate audio feed if you're going on a date this week. Thank you so much for listening to Guyset, a guy's guide to what should be talked about, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. See you guys.